back to Hoega. Tonight we have a mashup of two requests. This is going to be yoga for anxiety and panic attacks attacked from a yin angle. So we're going to start with some breath work, a little bit of meditation, and then move in to some deep, long hip openers. And this is going to be yin style, so be prepared to hold things for up to 2 minutes. If you don't have any bolsters or blocks, maybe grab some pillows, or just books can work in the place of blocks. You don't need all this fancy yoga equipment. There's lots of alternatives all over the house. All right, so come start in a cross-legged seated position. If that is uncomfortable for you in any way, feel free to adjust as you know how. Bring the backs of your wrists to your knees. We're gonna bring pointer finger and thumb together, other 3 fingers out. And just if you are panicked or feeling anxious right now, just take this moment to close your eyes, draw yourself inward, and just listen to my voice. I've heard that my voice makes people more anxious. If it does, stop this video right now, but maybe it will help you. Eyes closed. Let's inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top. Exhale out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale again through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top. Listen for the change. Exhale out with a sigh. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. Exhale out, big sigh. Inhale again, let's sweep the arms up. Exhale, out with a sigh. Left hand to right knee, right fingertips tent behind you. Relax shoulders, roll them back, straight spine. Gentle twist, maybe look over that right shoulder. If that hurts the neck, just look forward. Inhale up, hands touch. Exhale out with that sigh, other side. Inhale, hands up, palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands, you can lace them together or you can leave them open. Bring them to the back of your head, okay? Thumbs should just gently be touching where the skull meets the neck. And you're gonna do this gently. You're gonna bring the elbows in and you're gonna gently press down on the skull, getting a little bit of a neck stretch. Inhale it up and exhale. Bring the right fingertips down. If you don't want to do this, they can just rest on the thigh. Bring them down, left hand up. Just some gentle pressure to the head here. If that's too much, no hands. Just dip left ear toward left shoulder. Maybe close your eyes, maybe gentle gaze off and to the right. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale back up. Roll out the neck. And then we'll start with our hip openers. So inhale, we're gonna start in what's one of my favorites, and it's completely underrated for how much it opens your hips. We're just gonna do low lunge. Bring the left foot forward, right knee back here. And since this is the in style, you don't need to be a hero. You don't need to be doing anything that looks super impressive by any means. Just make sure you're safe. Make sure the left knee is over the heel. You don't want that forward. You'll just F your knee up. And then up to you for yin. Lots of people like to just rest with a hand on the thigh here and just breathe into those hips. You may want to have blocks or books here and maybe put your hands so you can be more upright like that. Some people have super bendy hips and they're comfortable just existing here without any sort of props to assist them. I think that today I'm going to have forearms on my thigh. And then if you are feeling anxious too, sometimes I like to bring opposite hand to opposite arm and just kind of give myself a little hug here. And then you're just gonna gaze forward, maybe close your eyes. 30 seconds have already passed, so we don't have to be here that much longer. And again, yin yoga, you wanna be in a space where it feels like you're getting a nice stretch. It feels like you're releasing any tension, anxiety that you're holding in the hips, but also nothing is going to tear, nothing is going to rip, and you are able to sustain it for a decent amount of time. That's what it's all about. And remember to watch your breathing. Maybe you employ Ujjayi breath, kind of putting the tongue toward the back of the throat. And it makes your breath sound like a wave on the inhale and exhale. It's easier to do for the exhale for whatever reason, so don't beat yourself up too bad if you're not hearing it on the inhale. Find this to be a very stabilizing, calming breath. So if you are one of the 5 people who's watching this who is feeling a little bit anxious, just know that this breath is here to help you. If the stretch is feeling intense, you can back off a little bit. Or maybe it feels good and maybe you want to sink into it, lowering the right hip closer to the mat. Imagining as your body limbers up and as you descend closer to your mat that you're releasing anything that's holding you back, any stress that is causing you pain, any grief, any anxiety. Inhale, everybody. Maybe hands back, maybe hands up. And exhale. Let's bring them down. You're gonna just gently rock back into your half split. Toe is going to kick up. Leg is gonna be as close to straight as it can be. You can be on fingertips or you can be upright if it's just not really happening today. Inhale down. Then exhale, climb forward. Let's gently send the left leg back. Come into just a brief little tabletop and just do some spine rolls. For the lower back, things got a little intense. And let's switch directions. If this feels uncomfortable for you, feel free to just do tabletop and cow. I know that some people feel a little self-conscious doing that, but no one's probably watching you. And inhale, let's bring the right side forward. Okay, right leg comes up. Remember, most important, we don't want to exacerbate your panic with an injury. Knee right above heel. Hands wherever you want them to be, maybe down here. Maybe you're leaning forward. As long as there's no pain, that is okay. Be where you need to be. And you're holding this wherever you are. Again, somewhere that feels sustainable to you. Nothing too crazy. Make sure that you're not leaning into the right hip so much that this left hip wants to open up and give a little show. You want this wrapping down. You want the thigh dropping toward the mat. If you want to give yourself that little hug again, go ahead. Maybe I forgot to mention this on the other side. Sometimes I like to just squeeze gently on the arms too if I'm feeling a little anxious. Just applying that pressure, giving yourself the satisfaction of the human touch. Draw inward, maybe close eyes, maybe gaze just really gently down toward the floor, a little bit above your toes. Maybe looking at your toes, if they're like mine and they look pretty ugly right now, maybe avoid that. Look forward a little bit. Use that Ujjayi breath if you want. Or maybe distract yourself by counting your breath, doing even inhales, even exhales for a count of 3, maybe 4. I know the hips can get a little intense, but everything starts with the hips, like all lower back pain, all stress, all hamstring stuff, pain walking, pain while sitting, are all involved in the hips. And because it can be a little bit emotional to stretch them out at such a deep level, I understand that we don't really like to do it, but try to do them like 3 times a week at least. It'll elevate your quality of life. Inhale, maybe you want to drop the fingertips, just adjust your pose a little bit. Maybe bring the hands up, whatever you need to do before we exhale down, and we're going to rock back into that half split. Not a yin pose, just a little bit to reset what happened there. This does not have to be your deepest hour. You do not have to put your forehead on the toes. Do whatever feels good. Then inhale forward, just gently send that leg back. And up to you this time what you want to do. You can continue to do those hip circles that I like, or you can just go traditional cat-cow. Or maybe I kind of like to send my left hip off to the left, gaze over my left shoulder. Give it a little glance. And inhale, switching sides. Right hip off to the right, gaze over right shoulder. Okay, we're gonna come into Malasana squat pose here. This is one that a lot of people do need some propage for. So if you're going no prop, you wanna make sure that these heels are on the ground and that you are not crouching down like this, but you can have a somewhat straight spine here. And then you want the toes pointing the same directions of the knee as the knees. If this is just so unbearable, so uncomfortable, you don't know what to do, please grab some pillows or maybe even some blocks, or put a pillow on a block or some books, and then you're gonna bring that under your glutes here. So you'll be sitting up. You'll be higher up here, it'll look like this. And then that'll allow you to bring the heels down and do the stretch properly. I'm going to bring my fists together and push into them, then use my elbows to push against the knees to deepen my stretch. You do not have to do that. This could be intense enough as it is. Sometimes I like to sway. If there's any pain in the knees or the hips when you sway, do not sway. It's just kind of, it helps to relax me. Adding just a little bit of movement. This is annoying me. This is one where you really want to use your breath. We're getting into the feet and the ankles a little bit too. If you're not used to doing yin, this can be very, very intense to maintain this position. And if you want to come out, so stay here if you're feeling good. If you want to come out just ever so briefly, you're gonna bring the butt down, bring the feet together, and just curl yourself up into a little ball. Maybe hold that for 10 seconds and see how you're feeling, and see if you can bring yourself back here to your malasana. And here let's add a little bit of bumblebee breathing. This is another favorite one of mine if I'm feeling anxious or panicked. Unfortunately, it makes you look a little bit loony if you're doing it in public, but maybe if you ever need it, sneak off to a bathroom and just do it really quietly. I know it's gonna seem ridiculous, but there's something about feeling the vibration of your breath as you hum out that is extremely, extremely relaxing. It feels like it's bouncing off of your brain, and it kind of clears your thoughts and lets you to draw completely inward. But what it is, it's really, there's a more complex way to do it. We're gonna go simple. You're just gonna breathe in, and as you exhale, you're gonna hum. Inhale. Exhale with the hum. Okay. Exhale out with that hum, and you may have noticed the hum out is longer than the inhale, and that is correct. One more time. Inhale. Out with just a sigh. I hope that one works for you. If not, there's lots of different breath tricks for anxiety. That's just one that I find one of the only ones that actually makes my brain stop for a minute. And you don't have to use that in a yoga pose. You can use that right before bed. You can use that in the shower in the morning. You can use that any moment you might need. Just turn it off and relax a little bit. Inhale, great job with that squat. I know that sometimes that can get really intense. Bring these legs in, okay, to kind of reset. You're just gonna bring, I'll show you this way, fingertips pointed toward the sacrum, and just windshield wiper these out, like so. Okay, inhale, we're gonna come for a twist here. And then you have lots of options, because as we're holding it, I know that it can be quite intense. So you have the option to return to our initial twist, like this. And we're gonna hold that for about a minute. And then that might be too easy for you. This might be too relaxed. You might want a little bit more out of your spine. And then if you're doing that, if you want more, I'm gonna ask, send this out and just experiment with it. This does get a little advanced, but so leg out, left leg bent. Inhale up, and you can cut it off here, just using the elbow into the left leg, looking over the shoulder here like so. Or you could level it up. Oh, I don't even think I want to do this. And bring the hand under, other hand under, and take the bind. For yin, that bind is a little intense, so I'm going to stay here. Make sure spine is upright. Gaze over the shoulder. And close your eyes here. Enjoy the twist. Maybe stuff pops. Don't worry about it. Maybe close your eyes. And again, this doesn't have to feel intense. If you are like kind of freaking out because you don't think that this feels like a transformative, life-changing stretch, do not worry about it. It's yin. You want to feel like you're slowly, slowly opening. Also, if you feel that you have more space and you want to deepen, you can push this elbow into the knee or the hand into the knee if you are still seated. And then you can increase it by kind of pushing the knee back into the arm if you are in this variation. I can see my breath in here, it's so cool. And inhale, switch sides. So again, either seated, here, just in your simple one, or maybe experimenting a little leveling up. Oh, yeah, that helped. Bring elbow up here, and then trying to spider tip. If you come on a flat palm, just make sure you're not putting all the weight into the wrist. And then find that nice juicy twist. Maybe pushing a little bit more if it feels good. And you feel that you have more room in the spine to open up. I know in the twisting, sometimes you constrict the breath. If you are in a place where you feel you cannot breathe smooth through your whole body, please come out of that space. Inhale back, great job. Bring the feet in and let's just round into that little ball again. And inhale, come up. We're gonna come for our two most intense hip openers. I think you've seen them here before. I just really love them. So, oh yeah, wide leg, forward fold here. If you, and most people do, especially in a yin practice, burn these drapes down. Most people here are gonna need pillows or bolster. So I have a bolster here, and a bolster is just like a fancy, expensive pillow. Just, you know, because the yoga industry is big, big business. But if you have pillows, cushions, anything, that's fine. Just stack them on top of each other here, like so, until they're in a space where you can come down really comfortably and just hug your little bolster, hug your pillows. And I think that we should all probably start with a bolster or pillow, and then as we go on, if you want to remove it and your belly can lie flat, then you can do that. If belly cannot lie flat, you're just gonna hurt your lower back, and there's no reason to. So pillows, bolster, flex these feet, make sure there's no pain in the knees, and relax into the stretch. If you're like me and you're resting a cheek on the bolster, just make sure you do switch sides eventually, just so we stay completely even. this is the time, if you feel that you are in a position to remove your bolster, I might not even be today, it's so cold, then come down. You're coming down. You want to be lying flat on the mat, or walk the hands out and just have a straight spine, essentially. Make sure there's no pain in the lower back. I know this can be intense, but this is kind of one of the ones you learn to love, and then all of a sudden your day feels incomplete without doing it. Make sure the breath isn't getting angsty. I hope that you can feel yourself gently opening, because to me that is like one of the most satisfying, calming feelings. Inhale wherever you are. Just walk yourself back up. We're not going to hold this for minutes, but we are just going to get a little bit of our spine in, because you're only as young as your spine is. So I'll show you here, there's multiple options. First option is just gonna be right forearm, palm down, inside of right shin. Arm is gonna come up like this. If you were going down like this to grab the foot, you're not getting anything out of it. Arm up, if it can, oh my God, my hair is so close to catching on fire. Maybe that would be exciting for you. Bring the hand over. I'm not gonna touch my foot because I'm gonna catch on fire, but hand's gonna come over, grab the foot, both hands will grab feet, and you look over. Inhale. Walk through center, get low if you want to. This hand, and then foot scoots. Oh my God, this is dangerous. This is not helping your anxiety. Hand out. And then you grab the foot, or you're up here, okay? Never closing down, no matter where you are. Open up. Inhale, come back up. Coming for the big kahuna of hip stretches. I'm so sorry, but this is just, it has to be done. You'll thank me or you'll leave hate in the comments, which would be fine because that's still user engagement. All right, so I'll show you here. If this is gonna be too intense for you, you're gonna wanna bring toes together and kind of like child's pose, like sit here. And maybe you'll feel an incredible stretch in the hips as long as you're pushing them down. Maybe you won't feel anything. In that case, coming with me for our frog pose. So you want heels to line up with the knee, and then instead of rolling forward, you're pushing your hips back. You're trying to get them as low to the ground as you can. And I'm gonna switch around. So it's not just 2 minutes of butt, even though that would probably get more views. All right, bring them out, feet stay flexed, okay, super important. And if you want to put, you can't see because of the sweat, you want to put, oh my God, okay, I don't think there was a nipple. If you want to put a pillow or a bolster underneath your hips, you can. Push those hips back. It's kind of uncomfortable being this close to the camera, but breathe, guys. Frog to me is, it's the best. It really is for trying to achieve deep flexibility in a relatively short amount of time. There are no quick fixes, but if you are holding frog 2 to 5 minutes a day, you're gonna notice a huge improvement in your overall flexibility and just your overall, like I said, the way you feel when you sit down, the way you feel when you walk. And then in terms of panic and anxiety, frog to me is just, it's incredibly visceral. You feel as the 2 minutes progress. This is one where you really feel the hips opening. You feel this like spreading. It's almost like, I don't know, it's the most incredible sensation. It may feel like super terrible right now, but I promise you'll learn to love it. You'll learn to crave this feeling because there is no other feeling of just, it's almost like you're splitting yourself in half and just like everything that has ever annoyed you is just pouring out between your loins. As gross of an image as that is, but really for real. So I say this in every video, but so many emotions held in the hips, and anything you can do to bring any relief or release to that, you're gonna thank yourself. If you are feeling that this is too deep and this is too overwhelming, this is worse than your panic, bring the toes together, come to that tadpole pose. But if you want to ride it out here, and you want to cry or anything, just do what you want to do. Know that you are okay. I cannot see what you're doing. You can tell anything to me right now because I'll never hear it, but I'm going to look like I'm listening. If there's anything bothering you, you need someone to talk to, say it to the screen. Maybe you want to come down. We're going to hold for, oh my gosh, we've been holding forever. I'm so sorry, guys. Only 30 more seconds. If you want to bring chest down, go ahead. Maybe you can move the knees just a micro inch away. Maybe you're at your max. That's fine. And inhale. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Walk yourself up. Okay. Bring the toes together. That's how I like to get out. And then you're going to press. Use your hands. Be super careful here. Just start to slide the knees in until whoop, you can sit back. And then come here on your butt. And again, this is another one. Windshield wiper, bring some feeling back in. We're gonna do Baddha Konasana, but we're gonna make it super brief and then we're gonna come down for relaxing stuff. This is just kind of to complement your frog right now. So, hands on feet. Feet open wide like a book. Elbows press, the knees, thighs down. Inhale up. Exhale, come down. Do not come down all the way for yin unless you're super bendy, which you could be. In that case, do. But most of us, please do not push it to get the chin to the ground, even if you can. You want to stay with a really flat spine. You want the glutes, the lower back not lifting up at all. And you want to focus on pressing these out. Maybe making contact with the ground. We'll just hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bring them in. And now this is gonna be really nice. Grab your bolster or your pillows, okay? If you're using pillows, grab 2 or 3 off your bed or off your couch, okay? And we're gonna come here. First, a super calming twist. You're gonna bring this bolster to your right hip. Knees together. And you're gonna twist over it. So it may be enough for you to be here, and that's a little twist. Or you can take it a step further and bring the cheek away from the knees. So the left cheek is gonna look set down with the bolster. You're gonna look off to the right. And this should not feel intense at all. This is purely beautiful and restorative. This is something that I wanted to show you because you can do it in your bed if you're really feeling terrible and you're really feeling anxious and you cannot bring yourself to go on YouTube or do anything, grab a mat, like just grab your pillow in your bed, twist yourself over it, bring the cheek down, and breathe. Really hold your pillow, hold your bolster, use it, you're cuddling it right now. It's there for you, it's there to support you, it's there to warm you. And then gently press yourself off of it and bring the upper knees in. Switching sides. Right there up against your hip point. Either looking the same direction is enough twist, or you want to look this way. Enjoy this gentle, gentle twist. Maybe try to do it in bed every night, both sides, if you have difficulty falling asleep. Gently press yourself off. One last thing, and I'm gonna join you for it today. I know usually I cut off before Shavasana, but I'm gonna make sure you do this. I'm watching. So, pillows, preferably 2 pillows, or maybe a couch cushion even here so you have a little bit more give. This bolster or cushion is gonna come right to your sacrum. You're gonna drape yourself over it. Bring the hands down. Legs can be straight out. No pain here. If there's pain, please just take a regular Shavasana. Or I really like, and we did all that beautiful hip work, so maybe feel and just kind of enjoy your release. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet together. If there's pain in the lower back of the hips, though, don't do it. But I think it feels really nice in this context. And then close your eyes. One last little thing. If you are here, not just for a really great stretch, but because you're feeling anxious or panicked, I might suggest that you bring one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and just use the gentle, gentle weight of your hand to hold you down, help you feel grounded. You have another pillow or a blanket even to put over the belly. Just any type of weight when you're feeling anxious. Calming down. Return your breathing to normal if you were doing any of those things that I was doing. If you liked any breath technique that we did earlier, perhaps inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding at the top, and exhaling out, do that. If you really like that, bumblebee breath. You can take that here too. You do not have to be breathing normally, taking a traditional shavasana if you are feeling really wound up and you found those breath tricks helped you. Re-implement them. Feel free to stay put and hold this as long as you want. Or you can join me. And gently, gently, gently come out of it now. Close those knees if they are open. And thank you for watching. I hope you feel better.